You're on the best of the morning X. Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. 99X.
And Sean Koch. I think the only way to really get this story out is to let him tell the story of what happened. If you've flipped through the paper today, not even Sean has seen the paper.
There's a section, well, the local section, there's an article on an incident that, this is one of those stories where everything in your life is going fairly well, and one little thing happens to just kind of change things for the rest of your life.
And this story is unbelievable. Sean, tell us what happened.
Well, I was out driving on Friday night. This was a couple weeks ago, and I got lost and ended up turning around on 75 and just got behind, I guess, the wrong car.
Were you coming home, or?
Yeah, I was actually going to a friend's house.
And you had never been there before and you got lost?
Well, I bypassed the exit on 20 and went down a little bit further and turned around on, I believe it was Cleveland Avenue, because it was the only familiar exit that I knew, and I just I turned around and came back and just was getting on I-20, and car got behind me, flashed its lights 3 times, and next thing I know, I have a bullet go through the back of my head.
Wait a minute.
The back of your head?
Yeah.
Did you hear anything?
Just the back window exploded, and that was it.
This guy got behind you and flipped his lights 3 times and then just shot?
Yeah, basically, because I wouldn't move over.
Did you see who it was?
The only thing I saw was I noticed the car when I was getting on to I-20, and the only thing I noticed was it was 3 people in the car.
Were you going like slow, or you were driving normal?
I don't drive slow.
So there were 3 people in this car?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing obviously a small caliber bullet, or you wouldn't be talking to us today.
It was 9 millimeter.
Okay, so it must have shattered your skull or something.
9 millimeter is not that small.
Yeah, that's not a small bullet.
It went through my neck and shattered my jaw.
Oh, okay, and
oh my God, I can't even imagine the pain you went through.
Took out some teeth, and
did you even know what happened at the time? Could you even understand what was?
Did you say to
out?
yourself, I just got shot?
Yeah, I did, as a matter of fact.
You were alone.
Yes.
So what did you do? You pulled over immediately, obviously.
I kind of smacked into the center wall.
Oh, you hit the median?
Yeah, I hit the median and regained my composure and just basically...
Man, how do you regain your composure? You were just shot in the back of the neck.
I saw some blue lights going the opposite direction. I thought they were going to help me, and they didn't. So I just basically just grabbed myself and just said, okay, let's go to the hospital, and drove to Parkway Hospital.
What condition was your car in?
It's totaled now.
You drove yourself, shot, you're dripping blood out of your mouth, your teeth are all over the place, and you're driving yourself to the hospital.
I understand you only had one good tire?
I got one good tire left, yeah. Drove in on the rims.
So you get to the hospital, they patch you up.
Well, not really. I got to the hospital, and that was the first time that I saw any police behind me, and the policeman, I passed the emergency room, I parked in the wrong place, and he's like, well, what happened? And I just got out and I just said, I've been shot, and as good as I could with a broken jaw.
And
what did he say?
He just said, he's like, what? And I kind of said it again, and I turned off my truck, and they took me into the hospital at that time.
Okay, and they patched you up then?
Well, they had to do some exploratory x-rays and things of that nature to make sure that I didn't have a shattered, make sure that I wasn't in any danger of my spinal cord being cut or my carotid artery, not my carotid artery, my jugular vein being cut by the bullet or anything. So I spent several hours getting a lot of things x-rayed and checked out.
Man, how far did it miss your spine by? Did they tell you?
It's basically, it's about a 1/16 of an inch in any direction would have either paralyzed me, made me bleed to death, shattered my backbone, or...
A 1/16 of an inch, that's like a piece of hair.
Yeah.
So, at what point did you have a chance to talk to a police officer?
I talked to him, it was about 1:30 or so, 1:32 o'clock.
And what happened?
He asked me, he said, what happened? I told him, and then when everybody left the room, he said, well, what really happened? Were you down there buying drugs or what? And I'm like, what?
Always thinking the worst.
Yeah, I was a victim, and he was trying to put the blame on me.
Well, now, because the story in the paper implies that the police officer, like you said, was convinced that you were not telling him the whole story.
Right.
That somehow you brought this on yourself. You were doing a drug deal, had something going on. And nobody knows. We're not, taking sides here. We're trying to get to the bottom of the story.
Oh, I understand.
But what did they, what else went on in that interrogation?
He just, that was it, basically. He interviewed me for about 5 minutes.
Just said he was just thinking you're out doing drug deal, and so he kind of discounted the whole thing.
Did he sort of say something like, well, this kind of stuff happens all the time?
No, supposedly it doesn't happen at all.
Oh, it doesn't happen at all?
No, it doesn't happen at all.
Did he try to give you words of encouragement? What are they going to do now?
Didn't really give me anything other than, okay, well, I'm going to go talk to your parents now, and that was it.
Is there an investigation going on?
From what I understand, there was, and then they closed the file on it because they didn't get any. I didn't give them enough information. I did give them a description, and they just supposedly said I didn't give them enough information.
Okay.
Enough.
Now,
all you could see, you couldn't even tell what kind of car it was, could you?
Well, I was behind the car when I got on the exit, or when I got on the entrance ramp, and then I passed the car. I mean, I went around the car to.
Oh, and that's why they shot?
I guess it is. I don't know. Or maybe I wasn't going fast enough, but I was doing about 60 or 65.
The police officer said in the paper that you didn't give them enough information as to where exactly it happened.
Pardon?
Where exactly it happened.
I gave them as much information as I had.
Right.
Right. Now, in defense of the police, because we should read what their statement was, this is Detective John Fagler, who is the investigating policeman. He says it could have happened that way, referring to the way you said. All he was trying to do is find out if that's really what happened. That basically, and I'm paraphrasing, that he just doesn't have enough information to nab anybody at this point. That he needs more information before he.
It just seems odd that they kind of just throw the ball down that quickly. Don't have enough info.
Yeah, you'd think a freeway shooting would get a little more attention than a 5-minute interview.
Well, yeah.
Just saying.
That's what I would think, too.
I got more interview than that when I crossed over the median on Piedmont one day.
Yeah, exactly. You get stopped if you get stopped for speeding, it takes longer to write a ticket
than getting shot in the back of the neck.
Right.
With a 9.
So you sort of feel like you're a victim in more ways than one.
Well, I've just been, I'm trying to keep myself from being victimized. I mean, I'm a victim, but I'm not going to let myself, I'm not going to live in a hole.
How much more surgery do you have?
I've got to get my jaw redone because my jaw is broken. It's just I'm able to speak because my doctor was wonderful, and he gave a nice little apparatus. It looks like handlebars on my jaw, but it's got both sides of my jaw together so it doesn't flap around. And he's done a wonderful job, and I go back into surgery in about a week and a half, 2 weeks to get my jaw put back in and get the bone marrow transplant where the bullet took away some of my jaw.
Sean, this is a question that a lot of people wonder. What does it feel like to be shot?
Feels, well...
Because the power, you go to any range and you shoot a gun, you feel the power that comes out of one of those guns, and you wonder, I've wondered before, being on the other side, what... It's very numbing, and it just feels like it feels like a pencil's been pushed through you backwards.
I wouldn't immediately think, if all of a sudden I was shot from behind, I wouldn't especially in the head, I wouldn't immediately know, I've been shot. I wouldn't know what happened.
You never know how you're going to react.
It hit me, and it felt like something hit me in the neck. It felt like a baseball bat hit me in the neck muscle.
You're not expecting it. You're relaxed.
And then it's like all of a sudden I just felt I pulled the truck to the left, and it went smack the median. I just reached to the back of my head, and I felt a little hole, and it's like, oh my God, I've been shot.
You felt the hole? You just
That's pretty weird.
Just below my hairline.
Now, before we were on the air, we were talking to Sean. It turns out Sean has appeared on the Morning X before. Do you have a radio there?
Yeah.
Okay,
let's go back to this footage.
This is from 1990.
Hold on a second. Let me
I think it was.
It was a while ago.
1994. This was the incident when I drove the perimeter nude.
When you lost the Falcons bet
I lost
with
the
me.
Falcons bet, had a drive around the perimeter nude. Everybody remembers that.
Lord knows last time someone lost a Falcons bet. But,
yeah, really. Yeah, how could only I could lose a betting on the Falcons.
Let's go to
back.
some file footage. Okay, Sean, have you spotted Jimmy?
Yeah, he's right here next to me.
He's next to Jimmy?
Yeah.
I'm looking right at this dude. Hey, let me ask you, do you take this drive often, Sean?
Yeah, every week.
Do you see a lot of naked commuters on this route normally?
Not typically, no.
I mean, look at this. Will you verify for him that I'm naked, please?
Well, hell, hold on a minute.
Oh, he's actually gonna... He's
pretty much nude.
Well, I'm wearing a seatbelt.
Oh, okay, well, you know that.
So you see everything, Sean.
Well, I don't know about seeing everything, but,
Well, the Bronco is is higher than his car. He'd have to, like, get on top of his car to see.
But he's nude.
I don't have a sunroof, sorry.
Any hair on his chest?
Yes. needs to be trimmed.
Hey, Barnes. Hey, Barnes.
Yeah.
You can't grow grass on a playground, babe.
Oh.
Sean, your appearance from about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Kept on fire.
Yeah, matter of fact, the vehicle I was driving there was the vehicle that I was driving that night.
Well, I'm glad you're still here to talk to us. This is a weird story.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of weird things happen to Sean Koch on the highway. He sees nude people. He gets shot in the head.
Hey, Sean, really the best of luck in your case.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck, Sean.
You're listening to the best of the Morning X. You can also catch it on the Morning X podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or at 99x.com.